There's a lot to be said about how someone views themselves. Oftentimes, for most people, and myself included, that can be one of the hardest battles that you'll ever fight. You'll hear quotes like, "We each are our own worst critic," or any slew of words which negatively outputs our own self-image. That quote by Hendriksen, a renowned clinical psychologist and author of multiple books, brings to light one very important factor. We often hold ourselves to high standards, but frequently do not hold ourselves in high regards. She later says in the same interview with The Guardian, "It is necessary that we each have this inner critic, because a healthy dose of self-doubt helps us monitor ourselves and our behavior. I like to say, we doubt ourselves in order to check ourselves. And ultimately, that means we get along better with our fellow humans." Are there problems that we all need to fix? Probably. Are there opportunities in our lives that we've ignored or swept away? Maybe so. Are there times where we don't view our little victories as anything more than just checks in the box or things that we should have completed already, rather than giving it the praise that it deserves? Definitely. All of this is to say that it took and is taking me a long time to be proud of the things that I do, no matter how big or small the objective is. And after having a whirlwind of success over the past couple of years, I am now finally coming down off of that high. So by taking the time to record the little wins, like cleaning up my space, I'm able to sit back and appreciate the victories that seemed so insignificant in my previous lifestyle. Pair that with cleaning up your appearance or doing things to help boost your visual self-confidence, and you've got a recipe for a really good day. Truly, it all starts from square one, and mastering the fundamentals is what makes all the difference. With that big old rant out of the way, let's get right into this week's progress. This week has certainly been a big boost since the last one. I've learned a lot of lessons in self-reliance and good self-reflection. For example, I found myself in a tough spot where I didn't have a working car, and I didn't really have the funds to go take care of it, nor could I drive it anywhere. So after I had my little hissy fit the night prior, I had to figure out a solution. There was no way around it. So I decided to fix the car myself. And it wasn't anything serious. It wasn't like I was taking apart the engine or anything, but it was new and I was unfamiliar with the process. So after a couple YouTube videos and a whole lot of pep talk to myself, I went and did this. So last night, I was attempting to go to the gym, and as soon as I hopped in my car, turned the steering wheel, it started to whine and moan. Not a good sign, didn't feel safe driving it. It started to get really difficult. So right now I'm just flushing out the fluid, putting in the new one, letting it siphon through, and we're gonna get this thing fixed. Fixing the 4Runner because it decided to shit itself the other day, and all that really needed to happen was to change the oil and then flush out the power steering fluid. So just deciding to fix that up myself, mostly because I have to. So it's going good. Learning to do this for the first time is quite a process, but I'm enjoying it. It's honestly kind of therapeutic to take a break from normal life, drink a beer, and fix up something that you know nothing about. All this really took to fix was a good YouTube search, so I want to thank Viking Garage for helping me figure this out. I feel a lot more confident and a lot more capable after watching your video. It's well laid out, it made a lot of sense, and I really appreciate the help. We're going to do one more flush. I think the fluid is as clear as it needs to be. Looking good, looking really good. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Welcome to the underside of a Toyota 4Runner. It's just magnificent. We've got the oil dripping and draining there. Can I get a good shot? Yeah, kind of magnificent. Just being in the dirt, laying in the oil. Party time. And now the complete part is I dropped the screw for the drain plug in here somewhere, so now I've gotta go do it. All right, okay. Ah, God. There it is. Just soaked. That's awesome. Dry this thing off. Get it all shined up.
It is an oil plug, so it makes sense that it has oil on it, but there we go. Good as new. Son of a bitch. Oh, I got it on camera that time. Ugh. Look. I feel like this is officially the messiest I've ever done this job, and of course it's when I'm recording myself. Promise, I'm never this bad. I suppose I should keep doing the YouTuber thing and ask, what's the most messed up car problem you've had? Go ahead and tell me that story. Filter. Oh. Set in place. And the cap came right off. That usually is never that easy, but I will take it today. Take a shot towel. So that's everything under the hood. Now we've got to go to my least favorite part. And that is getting this fucking thing back on. Might have been one. Oh, yeah. All right. we got it. Should record this more often. Things would go way better. All right. I don't think that's how that's designed to go, but it is working out in my favor. So let's just use it. There we have it. All right, so faceplate's back on. Let's get some fresh oil in this thing. Look at this. This is definitely the worst time to have to go to the bathroom. No messes, no, nothing. Okay. And with that, all done. Took me until nighttime, but we got it. Saved myself like $150, $200 instead of just going to a mechanic and potentially having them mess it up. But I think we're good. She runs fine.
That in and of itself was a very, very big win, but nothing compares to the amount of time that I was able to spend with my friends, either in person or online. So all the people who I got to sit and connect with, my friends, my family, I really appreciate the time just sitting down and getting to catch up. Big news for the next episode, however. I did manage to grab a subject matter expert. I won't spoil too much. Just look out for the next episode. We have an interview coming up with a life coach who will be able to walk us through what his thoughts are on a couple of things. So that's very exciting. A lot of wins have happened, but there was one thing that is currently weighing on me in this current moment, and that's I am missing a huge event that I should have been going to this year. Not only SHOT Show, but I'm missing the Gundies as well. And the reason that that's so significant is that I had been nominated for Video of the Year for the Gundies, and it's the one year that I can't go. Due to both financial and personal reasons, I've made the decision that I am not going to SHOT Show or attending the Gundies. It feels like a huge burden on my soul and in my heart because that's been my industry for the past 3 years. But I know that I'm making the right decision, and I also trust that God is helping me make the right decision in that sense. So to all of you who are out there enjoying the show, I hope that you have a great time. Please tell me what the theme of the cry party is this year. But regardless, doesn't mean I can't go next year. So I'm thankful for the decision that I made this year, and I will work harder and work better to be able to make it to the next one. And that kind of brings me to my next situation. I am out applying for a couple jobs. I've lined a couple interviews that are very, very promising, and I'm hoping that that works out positively and relatively quickly. All of these jobs are in the media marketing industry, making sure that I'm still working with cameras and I'm still doing what I do best. And I know that God has the right path for me, and he'll put me in the exact spot that he needs me in the exact moment. So yes, it's stressful. I haven't worked for anybody in over 3 years. It's a very intimidating thing to think about. I kind of feel like I'm giving up on something. However, I know that it'll work out in the end, and it doesn't mean goodbye. It just means see you later. It's going to be nice to kind of step out of that role responsibility of wearing 28 hats at any given time and just work with a strong, good team to be able to complete objectives and make ends meet. I've been super focused on cleaning up my diet. There have been some days where I, let loose or kind of have a nice meal or something that's tasty because my mental health needs it more than my physical health at that moment. I've been sticking to a pretty bland diet of steak, chicken, turkey, as well as rice or whole wheat pasta, and then throwing in veggies as often as I can. And the benefit to having such a blah diet is that I'm able to cook it up any which way I want. There's a million ways to prepare steak. There's a million ways to prepare chicken. There's a jillion ways to prepare noodles. So it's allowing me some creative freedom for my taste buds, which is the most important thing for consistency. I find it funny that as for diet, the most consistent thing is variation, because you can eat the same chicken with no seasoning and the same rice with no seasoning and broccoli as consistently as you want, and it'll give you results, but you're gonna hate it. So I'm trying to give myself some creative freedom in the kitchen to still enjoy the experience of eating. Quality of life is more important than a six-pack sometimes. I'm still thinking on that one. Consistency has been the primary issue over the past 7 days. I'm still getting used to this routine, and there are definitely nights where I am not sleeping correctly, or there's days where I'm not eating what I should be eating. Although slowly but surely those X's are turning into check marks, and I'm giving myself, again, the grace to say it's all right, it's fine. You're in the middle of the process, you won't have it perfect yet. There is an incredible joy in transparency and vulnerability, and that's exactly what the series aims to show people. What this project is doing for me is it's allowing me to see myself in a different light on an actual screen, and it allows me to make judgment calls that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And again, I wrote this part because I knew I wasn't going to be able to recite it, so I'm just going to read it. Truthfully, to summarize this past week, it's been an incredible exercise in self-reliance, realization, and giving grace to myself for mistakes or missed opportunities. I've learned to take care of problems when the odds are stacked against me, become truthful without being brutal, and view myself in a much better light, regardless of what other people think about me. And this, I believe, is a crucial step into better managing the other steps and actions that I want to achieve this year. Because without a steady mind, the body and spirit will not follow through. My final thoughts on this before we wrap it up. I'm thinking about creating a website or a blog site. I'm not sure when that will launch, but I want to be able to provide the resources that I've created for myself outwardly so people can try them out themselves or see if there's anything that works for them, as well as to create a community of people who can share thoughts and ideas with each other to help better themselves in the year of 2025. But again, don't worry about that. We'll get there in the future. Just remember these 3 things. Be kind to yourself, do something that challenges you, and remember to be the best person that you possibly can in the current moment. And with that, I will see you all next week.